What's up, crew? Sensei here, and here's the number one hack to find your purpose in life. And it's this concept called Ikigai. So why is it even important to find our purpose or passion, right? Because you might have been growing up hearing all this stuff like, hey, I gotta go find my purpose in life. But what does that process actually mean and what does it look like? So Ikigai is actually a Japanese principle where there's 4 core pillars to find your passion and your purpose. So I want you to imagine 4 circles, and in the intersection of those circles is Ikigai. And each of those circles are actually a pillar of finding your purpose. So here's the 4 pillars. Pillar number 1 is doing what you love. Number 2 is doing what gets you paid. Number 3 is doing what you're good at. And last but not least, number 4 is doing what the world needs. Now, here's the number one mistake I found when trying to find your purpose is that is very esoteric. There's not a very tangible process to actually get towards that. And so I've often found in my personal experience that you just get lost in the pursuit of trying to find your purpose. In fact, what I find is finding your purpose is much an ongoing journey as it is a one aha moment in life. So how did I go about this? Actually, the best way to do it was trial by error. And here's what I mean, is when you're young, when you have the opportunity, is go out there and try as many different things as you can. Growing up, I tried as many different hobbies. I tried as many different classes. I tried as many different jobs to figure out not just what I liked, but what was actually more important was figuring out what I didn't like. And so the number one hack is not to just try to figure out what lights you up, but actually to not be afraid of trying things to understand what you don't want in life. Because the thing that actually was easier for me was not figuring out, oh, this feels good, but what was the thing I was absolutely going to avoid? So Charlie Munger, he's actually Warren Buffett's old business partner, RIP to the legend Charlie Munger. He always had a line that went something along the lines of this, which is, to get to what I want, don't show me the path to get there. Show me everything that I have to avoid in order to avoid death or to avoid dying metaphorically in business, right? So for example, I tried accounting in college. I thought I was wanting to go into an accounting firm, realized I absolutely hated that, right? Hey, I tried different things like being a barista, actually working at Starbucks, right? And I realized in that moment, one of my first jobs, that I did not want to work in that actual setting or role. Nothing wrong with being a barista, right? I just realized that was not the path for me. And so when I started trying all these different jobs and doing all these different things, my identity started to shape, which was understanding, what do I not like? It actually started to become like the statue of David and Michelangelo, chipping in one at a time on the things to eliminate, not to add. So that's one of really the key parts of finding your purpose is like, how do we eliminate the non-essentials in my life, and what is left is the most essential. So that's part 1. From there, I started to realize another key principle, which is when finding your purpose, it is often not a thing that you go out and grab. It is actually more of a calling that you are pulled towards as opposed to trying to attract that thing. So let me start from again. So the second principle that I've often found is that when it comes to finding your purpose, it's actually not really finding it as opposed to being called towards it. So I find it's not something you could absolutely force. It's actually something that we are most importantly start to flow into and start to get into alignment for. So that is why it's one of my firm beliefs that having a spiritual connection or even just a spiritual life is so important. Because one of the best things that allowed me to be called into a vision, to get clear on my purpose, was actually getting a better relationship with my Creator. Because it is in those moments, whether in meditation, prayer, or breath work, whatever it might be, maybe you're just in solitude in the beach by yourself, it's actually when everything else is quiet in the outside world that you start to be able to hear and listen to your calling. So that is why it's so important when we're actually going through the process of Ikigai and finding our purpose, right? That it's not just through the process of elimination, but it is through actually getting quiet and creating space inside of us that allows us to get the visions, get the picture, and connect the dots step by step by step. From there, it's the third thing that I thought was really useful in my journey of getting closer to my purpose, which is understanding the cross section of these 4 key pillars, right? Just to remind you guys, doing what you love, doing what you get paid for, doing what the world needs, and doing what you're good at, right? I found with sales personally, it was something that, yes, I could get paid for this and get paid a lot of great money for this, but it's something that I also started to fall in love with, which was phenomenal. Because once I started to fall in love with the thing, funny enough, I started to just get really good at it. And when I started to get really good at it, it actually expanded upon, hey, this is what the world needs. So I invite you guys to understand that there is a sequence to which things go. Because you might have things that, for example, if you're working a 9-to-5 job and you don't like the job, you're frustrated, you want to get out of it, you want to eventually get into remote sales and be your own boss, you might find the skill set of sales, which is you get paid at it, but then you find a way, a different form of that skill set that you get paid to now step into doing what you love and also what the world needs. The market, the world needs more remote sales professionals. It needs people to actually meet the demand of the high ticket and online space. So you'll start to see almost this domino effect when you continue to push past certain elements or sequences of Ikigai. And from there, once you start stacking it, the things just start getting clearer, more cohesive, more unified in finding that ultimate intersection of Ikigai. So that's really the 3 core, guys. I really invite you to start understanding and possibly even adopting this philosophy of Ikigai, because it's not about trying to hit the bullseye from the beginning, right? I think that's the biggest thing that caused me frustration was I was 21 years old and I was I need to find my purpose. I need to find my passion. But the truth is there's a natural long timeline that is involved with finding your purpose. And I'm going to tell you guys, don't get frustrated or don't get overwhelmed with trying to find your purpose in your 20s right now. In fact, I haven't fully realized my purpose, and that's okay. But I am getting closer towards getting to that sweet spot, that enlightening period of Ikigai, because I continue to understand and sequence all those 4 key pillars one at a time, getting closer and closer to that eventual goal. And when you reach that spot, here's what happens, is you start to have more joy, you start to have more fulfillment, you start to make more money, you start to create a mission that's actually bigger than yourself. And that's what keeps you in this game for the long run. So you guys enjoy that video, leave me a like, give me a comment, share some of your takeaways, guys. What's your questions? What are your takeaways from this video? And if you're not following me already, give me a follow as well. Sales Sensei out. Cheers, y'all. Yo, what's up, Sales Samurai? If you like that free training, then I'm actually gonna give you guys a little bonus and secret. So I'm giving away a free sales training course inside of our free school community. Now, in that training course, I'm walking you guys through all my strategies, my tactics, and everything that I use to go from 0 to 5.4 million in high ticket sales. Now, also, if you're someone that is newer to the high ticket sales space and looking to get into it, or you're looking for your next 6-figure sales offer, then I got something special for you. I'm actually making intros, connections, giving you guys my tools and frameworks on how to land your next 6-figure offer, what I call a Rainmaker offer, inside of that free community as well. So click the link and the bio in the description below. My team will approve that immediately as soon as we get that, and we'll see you guys on the other side. Sensei out.